I think that's one of many things to pay attention to. Add to it persistent inflation, record high energy prices. There's a lot of wind in the face of markets. And I think investors need to prepare for more volatility and a flatter return environment going forward.
So if that's the case, how exactly do you navigate this kind of environment? People talk about whether you should have, dry powder ready to deploy, whether you should have some cash on the sidelines. But is now the time to be raising cash, or has that time already passed and you're kind of just sitting there in a holding pattern?
It's a great question, Dom. I think now is the time, first and foremost, for investors to assess their equity allocation. Are they really comfortable with the stocks they own, the exposure they have? We continue to see many investors exposed to what worked well the last few years, but may not work as well the next few years. So it's important, in our view, to own high-quality, cash-rich, dividend-paying companies with low debt. We think that's super important. The bond portfolio, Dom, I think interest rates rising, the Fed's meeting this week, that's going to pose as big of a challenge to equity market volatility to investors. We think investors should focus on high-quality laddered munis and corporates. And don't forget private investments here, Don. The lack of that mark-to-market focus makes private equity, private real estate, a very important holding in investors' portfolios, lowers correlation, adds an element of diversification.
Can we go, Greg, back to the companies and the stocks that you said are low debt, higher cash positions, stronger balance sheet dividend payers? Which ones are you looking at right now?
Yeah, so we like energy companies, we like financial companies right now in a rising rate environment. We've got exposure to IWD, which is the large cap Russell 1000 index. And I think it's important that investors focus on companies that pay good dividends. If we're in a muted return environment in terms of appreciation, investors want to have that mix of dividend income in their portfolio as well.